Imagine stepping out of your home on a quiet Christmas morning, only to face a nightmare straight out of a horror story. A 75-year-old woman living in a peaceful Ohio neighborhood was attacked and mauled to death by her neighbor's roaming pigs. How could such a thing happen? What led these farm animals to turn deadly? Stay tuned, because this story is as chilling as it is shocking, and it's one you won't forget. Welcome back to Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, where we uncover the wildest, most jaw-dropping stories of human and animal interactions from around the world. From thrilling escapes to heartbreaking tragedies, we bring you the untamed truth. Today, we're diving deep into a devastating and rare encounter involving livestock gone rogue in Ohio. What started as a peaceful holiday ended in unimaginable tragedy, leaving a community shaken and questions unanswered. You don't want to miss this. Before we unravel the details of this shocking story, I need you to help us continue exploring these wild encounters. If you love uncovering the mysteries of the animal world, or if you just find these stories as fascinating as we do, take a moment to like this video. Your likes help us reach more people who love these savage tales. And don't stop there. Drop a comment to let us know your thoughts, theories, or personal experiences with animals. We read every single one. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and join our growing community of animal encounter enthusiasts. And hey, don't forget to ring that notifications bell so you're the first to know when we upload our next wild tale. Sharing is caring, so hit that share button and let your friends and family know about Savage Tales, Animal Encounters. Let's keep these stories alive and buzzing across the web. It was Christmas morning in the quiet community of Pataskala, Ohio. A town known more for its peaceful streets and friendly neighbours than anything else. Rebecca Westergaard, a 75-year-old woman who lived alone on her property on Mink Street, started her day like any other. Despite the holiday season, her routine was simple, yet comforting. She planned to pick up her niece later that morning to celebrate Christmas together. But when Rebecca never showed up, her family became concerned. Rebecca's home sat on a modest plot of land, surrounded by open fields and a handful of neighbouring properties. Though her neighbourhood was generally tranquil, some residents were aware of the occasional presence of roaming animals. One neighbour in particular kept a number of livestock, including pigs, which were sometimes seen wandering beyond their enclosure. While some had dismissed this as a harmless quirk of rural living, others had privately voiced concerns about the lack of proper containment for these large, powerful animals. On this particular morning, two of the pigs had managed to escape their pen. These were not your average farm pigs. Reports later described them as large and potentially aggressive animals. Without the constraints of their enclosure, the pigs roamed freely, eventually making their way onto Rebecca's property. Meanwhile, Rebecca stepped outside to tend to her morning chores. Whether it was to check on something in her yard or to simply enjoy the crisp winter air, no one knows for certain. What is clear is that at some point her path crossed with the roaming pigs. As a seasoned resident of the area, Rebecca likely assumed the animals posed no threat. After all, it's not uncommon for rural homeowners to encounter wandering livestock. But something was different this time. Witness accounts and expert opinions suggest that the pigs may have been agitated or stressed, potentially due to hunger, lack of familiarity with their surroundings, or even territorial instincts. While pigs are generally considered docile when properly cared for, they are still large, strong animals capable of unpredictable behavior, especially when they feel threatened or out of their element. Rebecca, unaware of the growing tension, may have approached the pigs to shoo them away or investigate the situation. It's unclear what triggered the escalation, but one thing is certain. What began as an ordinary Christmas morning was about to take a dark and tragic turn. And then, in the blink of an eye, the peaceful scene shattered into chaos. What unfolded next would leave the community in shock, change the lives of Rebecca's family forever, and raise unsettling questions about the dangers of unchecked livestock. In a matter of moments, the situation escalated into a nightmare. The two pigs, described as large and powerful, suddenly became aggressive. Whether it was a result of territorial behavior, stress from being outside their usual environment, or another unknown trigger, their demeanor shifted from harmless to dangerous. Witnesses would later speculate that Rebecca, likely attempting to deter the animals or guide them away, may have inadvertently made a movement that the pigs perceived as a threat. These were not ordinary barnyard pigs. Experts would later note that certain breeds, particularly those raised for meat or larger in size, have the capacity for aggressive behavior if provoked. As Rebecca stood on her property, the pigs charged her with alarming force. The animals, each weighing several hundred pounds, knocked her to the ground, leaving her vulnerable. The attack was swift and brutal. The pigs began biting and trampling her, using their powerful jaws and sharp teeth. These animals, capable of consuming nearly anything, inflicted devastating injuries on the elderly woman. Their strength and weight made it impossible for her to fight back or escape. With each bite, the situation grew more horrific. Rebecca, alone and caught off guard, suffered extensive wounds to her arms, legs and torso. Neighbours later reported hearing faint sounds from the direction of Rebecca's property, but in the quiet rural area, it wasn't unusual to hear noises from animals or the occasional chatter from someone working outdoors. Tragically, no one realised the gravity of what was happening until it was far too late. Hours passed before anyone discovered the devastating scene. When Rebecca didn't show up to pick up her niece for their planned Christmas gathering, her family became worried. Repeated calls to her phone went unanswered, and the growing silence prompted her niece to contact the police for a welfare check. When officers arrived at Rebecca's property later that day, they were greeted by an unsettling sight. Her lifeless body was found near her home, surrounded by signs of the attack. The two pigs were still nearby, lingering in the vicinity as if guarding their grim handiwork. The scene was both tragic and deeply disturbing. The responding officers immediately secured the area and contacted the coroner. Initial reports from the Licking County Coroner's Office revealed the extent of Rebecca's injuries. She had died from extensive blood loss caused by multiple superficial wounds inflicted during the mauling. While some media outlets described the attack as the pigs partially eating her, the coroner later clarified that the injuries were consistent with a violent mauling rather than an act of consumption. As news of the attack spread, the quiet community of Pataskala was thrown into shock and disbelief. Neighbours gathered to comfort one another and share stories of Rebecca, a kind woman known for her independence and friendly demeanour. Many expressed horror at the idea that farm animals, often considered docile and safe, could unleash such violence. Authorities quickly began their investigation into the incident. The pigs were contained, but questions swirled about what would happen to them next. Ohio laws surrounding livestock attacks were unclear, leaving officials uncertain about whether the animals would be euthanized or allowed to live. Meanwhile, the neighbor who owned the pigs came under scrutiny. While no charges had been filed as of the initial investigation, many wondered whether negligence played a role in the pigs escaping their enclosure and ultimately causing this tragedy. The attack left a lasting scar on the Pataskala community. For Rebecca's grieving family, Christmas would forever be a day marked by sorrow and loss. For her neighbors, it was a chilling reminder of how quickly the line between humans and animals can blur when circumstances spiral out of control. As the investigation continued, authorities worked to determine what exactly led to this horrifying incident. Was it an issue of poor containment, an act of nature, or something more complex? Whatever the answers, the story of Rebecca Westergaard's tragic death would resonate far beyond the borders of her small Ohio town, sparking conversations about livestock safety, accountability, and the unpredictable nature of animals. What happened to Rebecca Westergaard is a chilling reminder of just how unpredictable the animal world can be. Whether it's a tragic incident like this or an incredible story of survival, these encounters teach us to respect the delicate balance between humans and animals. If you found this story eye-opening, please take a moment to like this video. It helps us bring more stories like this to you and a wider audience. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think should happen in cases like this? Should stricter laws be in place for livestock safety? Let us know below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join the Savage Tales community, where we dive deep into the wildest, most shocking animal encounters from around the world. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. We post regularly, and each story is as unforgettable as the last. Want to help us grow? Share this video with your friends and family and invite them to be part of these gripping discussions. Let's get the conversation going. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting Savage Tales Animal Encounters. Remember, in the world of humans and animals, the unexpected can happen at any moment. Stay curious, stay safe, and we'll see you next time with another unforgettable tale. Until then, Savage Tales Animal Encounters, where the wild meets the unexpected.